Jay, I missed you. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh man,
I missed you guys too. It was a nice time away, but I definitely missed my hangouts with the boys on Sunday night.
Okay. A 1, a 2, a skiddly diddly do. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 196. I have never won music bingo in my life, and today we got the whole crew back. Carter, Jay, how's it going? Jay, how was your vacation?
It was fantastic. I played golf. I broke 100 for the first time. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. It was really nice. We went to Cape Cod, and it was amazing. So thank you for holding down the fort for the past couple weeks.
I definitely missed you, and I know I've literally talked to you every day, but
yeah, it's been very busy for me. I had my brother's wedding, and then I went on vacation around Thanksgiving, and it was really nice to get away, but I definitely missed being here talking about Pokemon. I feel very out of it at the moment, out of touch with everything going on with Pokemon a little bit. So I'm excited to get back and start looking at the format again.
Well, this is the perfect episode to look back in the format. I know it's late. Most people are waiting for Indigo Disk to come out in 11 days. But we still have two majors that are going to be playing Regulation E-Meta. Liverpool and San Antonio. And so with the benefit of about 2 months or so of playing, we're going to finally do our full Regulation E tier list and discuss where these Pokemon have fallen and maybe try to find some hidden gems while we're at it. For those of you who plan on going to the remaining 2 tournaments in this format.
I wanted to be known you asked about Jay's vacation, but not mine, and I'm highly upset about that.
Oh, Jay was gone longer. You were here for the Thanksgiving episode.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, why don't we all go around, talk about what we're thankful for today? Is that something you want to do, Angelo?
Well, I'll jump ahead of everyone in line and say I'm thankful for the Ravens bye week this week. We are currently still sitting at the top of the AFC, and we have no stress of playing, and that is fantastic. So thankful for that, baby. Woo!
I am thankful for Debo's 3 touchdowns, single-handedly winning me my week in Dynasty this week.
Your game was over by the end of the Seahawks-Dallas game. So,
It was over Thursday when I had Dak and DK. Jake, can you tell your brother to go, trade me Breece Hall for nothing? Is that something you can convince him to do, is just give me Breece Hall?
Probably not.
That's fair.
I want it to be known that this is my official request for new co-hosts.
And that's you came in so aggressive today towards me. You don't get to have that request.
People do not see. We're going to get the tier list in a second, folks. Bear with us. People do not see. No, Carl just leaves everything in at this point. People don't see the names that we have unless you're one of our Patreon subscribers or one of our Discord supporters. Support us there. If you do that, you can actually watch these live as we're recording them, and you can see that all the hosts can have their own names. So right now, mine is down horrendously because I am down horrendously, and Carter just goes straight for the right hook
every week
with Purdy for MVP. So I'm sorry that I'm not happy.
Look, the way you all played, I wouldn't be happy either.
Oh no, I'm just miserable. Let's get to Pokemon.
Let's actually talk.
Pokemon and my fiance are the only 2 things that make me happy right now. Mons.
We want to just fire these off in order. Do we want to go by S through D? What are we thinking? I feel we talk about this every time we start.
I think first we should describe each tier just quickly, briefly, and then we can just go down the list. Most likely is probably pretty fine.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So, starting here with the S tier, these are format-defining Pokemon. These are things that when we get to them, it's going to be like Fluttermane and Iron Hands. I feel like that's pretty safe to go ahead and just say. These are mons that like you're going to see on a vast majority of teams, and as a result, you need to be highly prepared for them. The A tier Pokemon we classify as format-defining Pokemon. These are things that have a high potential week in and week out to win at majors. This is stuff like Hisuian Arcanine.
No, Hisuian Arcanine.
That's fair.
No, that's 6 out of 7.
So many things. It's not even funny.
6 out of 7. Jordan could never.
So we'll talk about that here in a minute.
I'd say
A tier list, so we can just like.
I'd say an A tier Pokemon would be like Chiyu or Roaring Moon.
That's fair. That's really fair.
Yeah.
We'll slap that just for simplicity's sake. B tier, Angelo. Why don't you talk about B tiers for a second?
Sure. So B tier is a solid Pokemon that definitely has a niche in the metagame, but might not be like the guaranteed top mon at this point. Examples for me would be Dusclops or Alolan Ninetales, Pokemon that might have been really, really good at the start of the format, but as it's developed, have fallen off to like the second and third tier teams that we're seeing at these events. I'll dive right into C tier as well. C tier, it's your very niche Pokemon. They play a specific role. They might not have a ton of results, but maybe they might have like 1 or 2 on specific teams to do something. I would say that, weirdly enough, I can't believe I'm saying this with VGC, Clefable is an example of a C-tier mon. This is a Pokemon that went and did something on a team that went in Cup Brisbane last week. Still haven't figured out what it was, but for that player, it was the right call. And that's what I would call a C-tier mon, a Pokemon that is like a right place, right time. Jay, you want to talk about the dregs in
Sure.
D tier?
Yeah, the D tier is just Pokemon that you're probably better off using something else, something that just, like Poliwrath, something just that there's better options, in the format, something that is very replaceable, extremely, extremely niche, really have to work extremely extremely hard to, fit it onto your team and make it work.
I think a good way to describe D tier Pokemon is your team would be better if they didn't have them on it.
Yeah, most of the time it's that Pokemon that you're like, oh yeah, look, my team has this Pokemon on it, but it's like, yeah, am I ever bringing this thing? Like, no, never. It's just there because it looks cool.
D tier Pokemon are the ones that I like.
I know, because if I had D tier, I was going to throw Ambipom in there because it is. Oh, actually, no, but I think Jay hit the nail on the head. Like using Poliwrath as an example, why you're going to play Poliwrath as your water fighting when the best Pokemon in the format
literally exists.
Water fighting.
Or as like your Swift Swimmer, and when you have options like Basculegion, which is better, or even options like Beartic, which are better, it's just you have better options on that. So
so let's go from the start from the top. Honestly, I think you have a few real easy ones. Zard, Raichu, and Alolan Sandslash, all D tier.
I think there's an argument for Raichu to be C, but how many Raichus have you played against on ladder? I think
it's an electric type fake. It's an electric type fake out user, which Iron has, and I think again that's just
why devote a spot to Raichu when if you need electric coverage, Iron Hands exists.
Yep.
When you need fake out coverage, Iron Hands exists. And if you need electric redirection, if you need lightning rod for some reason, then
you're playing the wrong team.
You got it. Most hands aren't even carrying. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Wild charge.
Yeah, they have wild charge.
I was going to say most aren't even carrying wild charge, but that's not even accurate. I think I can count on one hand. The last tournament I played, the number of times I clicked Wild Charge, it was probably like exactly once.
Yeah, I think that Lightning Rod just as an ability is kind of useless in this format. I mean, it's kind of just Wild Charge. There's no other real dominating electric types.
Which, like,
And
when we saw in Sword and Shield, when we saw Eliki everywhere, like, it made sense to have Lightning Rod. Whereas
yeah,
in this meta, it's not needed. Like, what Raichu is bringing to the table, you can have it be split up among 3 other different Pokemon and still just be fine.
yeah,
Or you can
just
just play
have a
Iron
good
Hands.
defensive Terra
Yeah.
as well, just to you know, counteract the weakness that you have. So I'm okay with all these being in D.
Yeah.
I think Clefable is probably like also an easy C tier. I think like
I
think
you
Clefairy
can
might be
argue
B.
I think
Yeah.
you can argue
I
B.
could take B. Like
I think it's better than Clefable.
I think
It has
I
a
think it's
very
probably
nice
on
niche
par with
on the
like
Como
Ninetales.
teams. Like it works
That's
really
fair.
well on those
That's
Como like Iron Defense Body Press teams that it won one of the events on Michael Zhang's team, I think. I think Clefairy was on that
Oh,
squad.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
and because that was one of the Como teams. And like the Friend Guard is just so good. You know, the Friend Guard and Follow Me is really great in a format where you can, you know, set up something like a Roaring Moon. You can, you know, put it next to the Como and get that set up as well. So I like this Pokemon as a B tier.
yeah, Clefairy has been seen as well on like these balance teams with Kingambit. Again, letting it set the Swords Dance. I think like another way to look at B tier as well is when you look at the teams at day 2, you're going to see like a handful of the day 2 teams. Maybe they're like they might not be the day 2 teams that cut, but they're the day 2 team. Like they're there on day 2, and like I think Lefebvre, you can pencil in at least one Clefairy in day 2 most of the time, which I don't think you can say that about the Pokemon that are going to be in C
Below
tier.
it. Yeah, I agree.
Such as I think like the next Pokemon, Ninetales,
I agree.
Cantonian. This was a mon that I had a lot of hype for. I thought that this sort of more aggressive Sun was going to make a comeback. Sun was really great as an archetype in Regulation C, fell off in Reg D, outside of like some like thunderous like Sun balance teams, and I thought that the fast drought user would help, and it's just done nothing.
I wouldn't even put it in the C tier. I'd put it in D tier. I think it's trash.
I actually agree. Like actually thinking about
yeah,
it,
I'm not going to argue that.
If you're trying to do Sun things, Torkoal exists and Tornadus exists.
Yeah,
like,
use one of those.
It's
or
not the best
Thunderous, like you
Sunsetter.
said, is even better. Like it's just there's so many things that will contribute more to what you're actually trying to do on like, the Sun archetype. It just stinks.
I think like Cantonian Arcanine is also just incredibly outclassed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to play Kanto when Hisuian exists.
I feel like you could probably put it as a B tier just because it is a good Pokemon, and I have seen people with some success for it.
Yeah.
Like you aren't 4 times weak to Stomping Tantrums, so you can take that. You're not 4 times weak to Water type moves, and I don't know if there's calcs for Arcanine to live a Surging Strikes out, but I'm pretty doubtful. But you know, you can still do like the extreme speed stuff. Yeah, you can still do like the extreme speed stuff with it. Like there's value to having it, and there's reasons to use it over the Arcanine Hisui in certain cases if your team is like very weak to ground or water types. But you know, it's obviously extremely outclassed, and it's been very clear which one is better.
Yeah, no, it's a weird Pokemon because, as you said, like there's zero reason at this point for you to ever use Cantonian Arcanine when Hisuian Arcanine is in the format. But at the same time, it is such a good Pokemon that like it would feel weird putting it with the C and D tiers, but it's also too disrespectful to do that. But you really also shouldn't use it. So like it's a B tier with an asterisk. I think the next two Pokemon are D tiers as well. You have Alolan Golem can do the funny like galvanized explosion thing, and there is that like
The
the
Palmont Revival Blessing team with it.
yeah, it was Palmont.
What?
And Rabska.
It was like
Yeah, it's
no,
Palmont and Rabska. You have both of them on there, and you do
That's so awesome.
Volt Absorb with the explosion, and then you also do Telepathy with the explosion, and then you do Revival Blessing, bring it back, and do it
That's
again.
so funny.
yeah.
I
And
love
then do it
everything
again.
you just said.
And speaking of meme teams, the Alolan Muck is another D tier with that. Oh my god, why did I forget the name of the Pokemon? The Pepper John.
Scovillain
Thank you. The
Yeah,
the
you
Moody
do the-
Scovillain Power of Alchemy team that
with
was
Minimize.
yeah the minimized stuff. Like it's best of one cheese. You might see it on ladder. It was
The what?
Yeah, it would so Power of Alchemy works that when the Pokemon gets knocked out next to it, it takes its ability. So you run Moody Scovillain next to it, and it goes
Oh,
down.
good lord.
And then
Yeah.
you do minimize Alola Muck, who gets Moody along with it, and yeah, you basically just become really annoying, and yeah.
stuff you couldn't do when Dynamax was a thing because Dynamax moves couldn't miss, and we don't have that anymore. So
I
yeah,
found the
it's-
paste, and this is adorable. I might sleeve this up for a local.
Jay, I feel like we just created a monster.
Yeah, honestly, like it very aligns with things that Carter likes to play. So
It really does.
I like Alola Muck as a Pokemon a lot. It is very gimmicky. There's very clear ways to beat that strategy, and it's just like it's one of those things. If you don't have the answers to it, it's very annoying. It's a Chansey Shuckle-esque, but it's not
Yes.
very great in this format.
This is awesome.
So
I
think
found a Reddit post with like a team write up about it, and the top comment is "Who hurt you?"
yeah. So the next Pokemon is Goldango, and this is
I think this is a solid A.
No, this thing is the GOAT. This thing is.
I think
totally
that's the thing.
S-tier.
I'm like in between. It's so good. And
If we had like
that,
an A plus S minus tier, I feel like this is a staple for it. But like, it's really good. But
I have
like,
to lean toward. I have to agree with Jay. I'm leaning towards S, and for one reason only.
hit me with it.
Goldango jumped to, I believe it was 5th in day 2 usage at Gdansk last week. And that tells me that the best players currently are valuing this Pokemon more than the general populace. And so if the best players are valuing this Pokemon is getting wins, like it has like 2 or 3 wins at least this format, I think at this point it's an S tier. Honestly, I think it's just as good as Flutter Mane. And depending on the team, it's honestly better.
I think Goldango is just one of the best Pokemon in the format, honestly. It's so good. And after using it in UDL this season, like I am very Goldango pilled at this point. And like I haven't clicked Make It Rain once with it this season, I don't think.
What do you mean?
I am not even lying to you. It's like it is that good that it like its signature move has not even been clicked, I don't think, like more than once or twice.
Jesus.
It's crazy. And like just speaking of like the format itself, like this Terra Dragon set is really nasty.
I love it.
And that it has so much variety. There is like 4 or 5 extremely viable sets for this thing that are all done well in different portions of different tournaments, day 2s, top cuts, wins, multiple wins so far. I think that this thing, anything any less than S is kind of criminal.
I think the big thing that like has sold me on moving this up to S is the fact that it has multiple sets that are all completely viable. And I think you nailed it when you said that. Like that the fact that it is so versatile in what it's able to do really makes it like a threat that your opponent has to play around appropriately, or it takes over the game. Like regardless of what it's doing, if your opponent misplays, you can't play against the same Golden Go. You can't play against Golden Go the same way every time.
Yeah,
I think it's the biggest thing to take away from it.
yeah. They
One
have
thing,
like the lefties, the choice scarf, the choice specs, citrus berry. There's like all
Metal
these different
Coat.
ways. You play it next to redirection. Do you play it next to tailwind? Do you play it in rain? There's like all these different archetypes that it fits so well into that are just dominating the format right now. So I think it's just so solid.
Yeah. One thing to note, listeners, the Goldengo that did win in Gdansk last week, that was a 252 Timid Goldengo, max speed with specs. One of the interesting things that has been going on with this format as it's gone on is the Goldengo speed war. And at this point, it's at full max, where even if like you're doing like 204 Modest or something, or even 204 Timid, don't be shocked if you're outsped. Like the Goldengos were a little on the slower side to start because everyone's like, oh, we have Tailwind to support it. And now it's just, even with the Tailwind, they're getting faster and faster and faster to the point of the max.
Can we agree that Wo-Chien sucks?
Yep.
Yeah, bad.
Okay. Can we agree that Xian Pao's like an A tier?
Probably
Yeah,
S tier.
I think it
hasn't won anything.
It
Yes,
won
it has. It's one. Actually, no, you're right. I think it's
won
won
like
at least
5.
two.
Like no,
Is
it
it
won like
5?
it won quite a few. It won the one in it won with Sanvi's team in
Sanvi and Choppa.
in Italy. Yeah, in Choppa, they had the back to back. I think it won a couple
I
more
forgot about
outside
that.
of
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Like there was that one team that won 3 different tournaments this season.
Yep.
I think so. Won at least 3 of them.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
you
you're
sold
right.
me.
You're right.
You sold me.
And yeah, it's great. You just get so much offensive presence, and this format's become super hyper offensive. So it's just a perfect fit for the the Urshifu and Arcanine Hisui stuff.
Can we agree that Ting Lu sucks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a D tier, which is
Amen,
weird because
brother.
it was 2 formats ago. It was
so good.
It was A tier.
So goated, man.
I think it's mostly because the format is so physical now that Vessel of Ruin, like the only mons it's really affecting are Flutter, Goldengo, and Goldengo are like the 2 that it's like truly affecting right now.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like dedicated special attackers, and to have an ability that only really affects 2 Pokemon, it's
a huge knock.
Its typing is also kind of just bad for the way that the format's going. You have
it's Urshifu,
like Qian Pao,
being weak to
Urshifu, Flutter Mane, Iron Hands. It's those are 4 of the top Pokemon, and then you're also giving up your ground type for something that could be Landorus. It's bad, and I love that thing. I loved clicking Earthquake with it. It was
I
amazing.
love clicking Fissure.
Fissure is so much fun.
You're
so
a sick
much
man,
fun.
both of you, just disgustingly sick.
One of my alts, my showdown alts name is Fizzy Wizzy Glizzy because I made a fissure team. It was just a team of clicking fissure. It had like Guard with fissure. It had Ting Lu with fissure. I had skill swap Espathra with no guard on it. It was like the whole idea was to skill swap no guard from Lycanroc Dusk and put it onto Ting Lu and click fissures. And it was awesome.
I didn't know the story behind the alt name, and that makes it so much better.
Yeah, and that alt is hovering right around top 500 on doubles Ranbats right now. So
hell yeah!
I say this again. All I want for Christmas are 2 new co-hosts.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely goated name. One of my favorites.
I'm going to pray for both of you. During that, Carter put Chiyu in A. Chiyu's
Oh yeah, I guess
example,
we should probably talk about
Agree.
Chiyu, huh?
I mean, when we were talking about like examples of A tier Pokemon, it is Chiyu. It's phenomenal. It is definitely more in hyper offense teams now. I know that like that whole New Balance team used Chiyu as its fire type in Regulation C. We aren't seeing that as much anymore. Greatmon, always something that has a lot of different sets that can be used, but it just doesn't have the results. It just doesn't have that. It just doesn't have the results to like put it in that S tier.
Do you live 252 plus choice specs, beads of ruin, overheat
No.
and sun? No,
Buddy,
you
I
don't,
barely
baby.
lived through that 4 o'clock game today. Like, it does not take much to knock me out. Does not. We're
But
moving on.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
she is a beast, but
Yeah.
A tier's fair.
Iron Valiant kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's
Niche.
D tier.
So niche.
I'd put a C, like just
I also would
What
put
is-
it C.
What does it do?
you can there it has like vacuum wave, it has feint, it has like booster speed stuff, it has icy
You can like
wind,
use the disable set. Like
close
Jay, why-
yeah, close
why
combat
do you-
moonblast.
I have an Urshifu that has Feint as its ability, and it does damage. Why do I care about Feint?
because
It's just
Feint makes it where your partner can hit them.
it is niche. It has a different typing. It can run that special physical thing. Like you are obviously not choosing this over Urshifu, but I think that there's reasons you can do the booster speed icy wind stuff. They're like you can fit it onto things, but it's very hard to justify it anywhere higher than niche. I'm not going to go and argue A tier for it. Definitely
No,
not.
hold on.
I'll settle down. I'll let it slide at C. Personally, I said this almost like a year ago whenever we did the Paradox tier list. I thought it was a bad Pokemon back then. I still think it's a bad Pokemon. I know it's great in singles, but for VGC,
Is it even good in
bonds with
singles?
that mix. I
Yeah,
think
because
it's
you
like,
can run in mixed
yeah,
attack
because
you're
here,
right, you're right.
you can run mixed sets
Yeah.
in singles.
and you just
It's-
run like a
it's been
booster
so long
energy
since I
on
played
it, and you
singles,
don't
I'm
need to
so
run any
checked out.
speed. But it
Yeah.
has like a really cool toolkit with a lot of really cool moves. Like we see Screamtail do some things with the Encore disable stuff.
Mhm.
Iron Valiant can do that too. It's not as bulky, but I
That's
think
the
that
big.
you
the
have
big
the
check
you have the
get.
offensive stuff that Screamtail doesn't contribute. I think everyone would think that Screamtail at C is pretty fair. So I think that Valiant here is also pretty fair.
I think if we're gonna go ahead and talk about it, we might as well place
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Yeah, we'll
I
throw-
think they're comparable just as Paradox Mons. Also it has like a really high base stat total. It has the highest of
Yeah,
it
the
has
Paradox
the
Mons,
highest
it
Paradox.
and
Yeah.
It's super niche. I don't think it's great. I don't think you're like I think it's as good as Clefable at the very least. I think Screamtail might be B tier to be honest though. Now that
Yeah, I
I'm
think I was
pondering
going to
on it
say
a little bit.
I think Screamtail's just better. The B, not D.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look. This is why I wanted to label them so I could hear you.
We enunciate. You used to listen to us.
Diplin sucks.
D
Yeah,
tier.
no,
Easily,
Diplin's-
easy D tier.
Okay.
Yeah, easy D.
Sinistra's a trap.
B.
I think it's B. It's been getting better results recently.
It's
I think
good.
it hasn't broken out of the mid allegations, but
I
can't
think
justify putting
mid
it lower.
allegations are about all I'm ever gonna
Yeah.
see for it.
It has a lot to contribute, and I think that it's like hospitality giving the extra health is a big boost. It has some really good toolkits as well, and we have seen better results from it recently. I think B is kind of a little mid, and I think
Yeah.
that's pretty fair for it.
This might be a hot take, but I think like Sinistra's like the form of power creep that Sinistra presents is actually really healthy. Like it has a super unique ability, super unique attack that like allows it to have a niche that in other formats in like a regional dex format, I think this thing would be an absolute all-star. The problem
Absolutely.
is I think
Easily.
that the power ceiling is so high for this current format that it's going to just suffer from that. If this thing was legal in Reg A, I think it would be insane and like super cool, and like you would have to really learn how to play with and against it. But in a format like Reg E, where the power ceiling is so high, like it's not able to live hits, and like what it's trying to do isn't enough to justify using it majority of the time.
Yeah,
I think
it has some good matchups at least into like
Mhm.
Urshifu, and it has a very good physical defense, good special attack. So it you can invest a lot into your bulk.
That
I
is
think
true.
there's a lot to give from Sinistra.
the few things I would like to add with Sinistra. First of all, I do think that I was actually kind of like cooking up a little something with this over the weekend. That the heat proof set is interesting. I know it's not. One of the things that I've been trying to do recently is look at the Pokemon for all its tools
Mhm.
and not go and say this is the way that everyone else runs it, so this is the way it should be ran, but actually going and saying like else can we do with it, and adding that extra resistance to a support Pokemon is super cool. And the other thing that I was looking at it with, having it be either a setup Pokemon with Nasty Plot or Calm Mind while being your Trick Room setter. I think one of the things with this format is that a lot of the Trick Room setters are relatively passive once Trick Room goes up like Dusclops. I know that 45 Mice, Justin Knox, he went and cut with Nasty Plot, Giraffe, Furry. So, like, the Nasty Plot was to punish those. Your opponent's going to double protect, well, I'm going to get a +2. And I think that the Heatproof Sinistra could kind of play that same sort of role. You have the Fake Out resistant, you're Fake Out immune because of the just your Ghost typing, and Bacha Gotcha is such a unique move that can do a lot of that, especially if you get this in the +2/+4. You're doing like it's like 85 base power spread with recovery and a chance to burn. I just think that it's something that might not be great, but at least it's something to look at. So diving into the Loyal 3, I said two things. Before I go into the Loyal 3, I think the other issue with Sinistra is that we have Ogerpon, Rillaboom, and Amoonguss in the format, and all three of those Pokemon are going to be in either S or A tier as well, eating up your Grass type slot. So back to the Loyal 3. Monkey Dory and Pheasant Dippy are straight up D tier.
Would not play
Agree,
them
yeah, they're
outside of
trash.
memes.
Remember the leaks when Monkey Dory was when people thought that Monkey Dory was going to have Shadow Tag as its hidden ability, and
Frisk
if
is
it
such
did,
a letdown.
and if it did, it would be an easy A, if not S tier. But because its ability is just absolute garbage, it's D tier.
Yeah, sad.
And Okidogi, I think it's a super cool Pokemon.
I think it's a
I know-
solid C tier. I think that this thing is.
Yeah, I was going to say B, but I can see C.
I was
doesn't have the
leaning
results.
towards B just because it really can be like, there has been teams that ran around and did well, like 45 Mice did well with it in one tournament, and it had a couple of good performances, but I can see, like, I think it's very limited in what it does, and I think you are also trading off, like using Iron Hands or Shifu when you're picking this thing up, because it takes up your fighting slot a little bit.
I don't even think it's Iron Hands and Urshifu. I think it's what you were saying. Like, if you want to use an Assault Vest fighting type, Iron Hands is just better. And if you want to have an Intimidate check that does bulk up stuff as well, then like you have
You have
Annihilate.
King Gambit.
Yeah.
You also have King Gambit, but yeah, you have King Gambit and Annihilate. Like, I think in general, like, it definitely has its roles on the. It's like a good mon. I think it's just that there's just a lot of other really good fighting types.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Ogerpon forms. I don't know their names. I know this is Cornerstone. This is Hearth Flame. This is
Wellspring.
Thank you. And this
And
is
Teal.
the bad one.
I'm going to like Teal Mask does have a good finish. If
That's
I had
what
to,
it is. It's teal. I couldn't think of its name.
the name of the DLC that it came out.
Look, I don't need this kind of harassment tonight, okay?
If
I'll fight back tonight, Angelo. Don't test me.
fight back, you came into this swinging.
Do we want to just like?
Position.
Do we want to just tier them all, like just rapid fire tier them ourselves, and then we can
just like talk about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, you go first.
Okay, so I would put Cornerstone in B. I also use that one in UDL, and I become a little bit of a believer, and I think it's good. Hearthflame I would put in probably also B, but like high B. It started the format really, really good, and then has kind of really fallen off. Its typing just doesn't fit the format too great. Wellspring I would put in high A probably, or low S. It's great. It's been up in that top 10 for a while, but it's hasn't been overwhelming. And then the Teal Mask one I would probably put in C. I think it takes a lot to make it work, and you're probably better off using one of the other ones. And the grass type problem that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Just want to throw this out here. The only person who has made Teal Mask really work has been Jamie Boyd, who is probably one of the best team builders of all time and one of the best pilots of non-standard teams currently active right now. And so just because Jamie Boyd made top 4 with Teal Mask doesn't mean we can. I think I'm relatively in the same spot as Jay. While Heartflame has fallen off, I feel like it's just so much significantly better than the B tiers that I have to put it in A right now.
Very fair.
And I also agree.
I think it's definitely a tier above Cornerstone.
Yeah, I would say
I don't think it's on the same level that Wellspring is, so I think that means Wellspring is probably S.
The thing is, I don't think Wellspring's... I think, if we have to say anything, Wellspring's probably the best A tier, or one of the best A tiers.
Yeah,
I think I can agree with that. If we were tiering things inside of the tiers, I think that this is borderline top of A. But since we're not, I don't really care. An A is an A. I do think that Teal Mask is not great, but I think it's better than literally everything else down here. So I don't think I can ever justify putting it down here.
Yeah. Wheezing. We have 2 Wheezings. I'm
a Galarian.
Galarian's is a D.
I kind of think they're both C.
I think Galarian's D and Wheezing's B.
I think they're both C.
I think it's.
I played exclusively with Galarian because I wanted the fairy typing.
I'm not going to argue with you guys.
I just think they're very niche. I love Wheezing, and the Roaring Moon Wheezing teams are really, really cool. But I think that it doesn't really work too much outside of those teams.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. Tauros. This is we're just gonna clump all the Tauros together.
D.
Yeah, they're not good. If we weren't clumping them all together, I think you can make a argument for the Blaze form to be C, but it's still not great.
Just use Arcanine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You honestly use Cantonian Arcanine over it.
Yeah.
What was Moxie's reasoning for wanting to use Blaze?
I legitimately cannot remember.
I know there was an argument for it, and I don't remember what it was.
Could be Focus Sash, and then Flare Blitz to, self KO because you don't want your Tauros on the field.
Maybe it was a faster Will-O-Wisp. It had to be something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, we can kind of this entire row. I only just to speed it along a little. I think that in this, not to just skip over a ton of Pokemon. I think that Galarian Articuno, Cantonian Zapdos, and Galarian Moltres are like C tier, Dragonite's a B, and everything else is a D or like low C. I think there's some
Okay,
people, like,
fire those off one more time. I'm sorry.
I'd say like I would put like just going off. I would put Galarian Articuno in C.
I think that thing's kind of just trash.
I'm just going by the fact that it did have a decent result, but if you want to put in D,
did
yep,
it?
the other
I
there.
didn't know
It
that
had
a good
one result over in one of the regionals this past weekend. It top aided.
No, Boyd bubbled with it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's another Boyd one though.
Yes,
to be fair, like you can't rank a Pokemon by how good Jamie Boyd makes it look.
That's fair. That's fair. Gyarados and Snorlax, I would honestly call.
I think Gyarados is a C.
C.
I think
Yeah,
Snorlax
I
is
think
probably
a C. It's a D.
That thick fat belly. No, the thick fat belly drum set's kind of cool. I know Wolfie won one of the early tournaments with it. It's very niche, but like it actually like the thick fat stuff is pretty cool. With the Snorlax,
thick fat and Gluttony are both actually really good abilities. Like
the reason why I'm leaning towards D with that is because it was so early, and I think people had new toy syndrome back then and forgot that Urshifu just kind of wrecks the entire team.
I think it did something well, like recently too. I don't know.
I missed it.
I think Snorlax is a cool Pokemon. I think it's fine to see.
Kanto Zapdos. Galarian Zapdos. We said D.
Probably it's a Defiant Mon, but again, it's like there's so many other better Defiant Mons.
Yeah.
I think Cantonian Zapdos. I think it's a C tier. You have the Tailwind. It's fine. I also think that C tier is the same for Moltres.
I like both those birds a little bit more as B personally, but I'm okay with C as well.
They don't have the results.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's actually a really good excuse.
Very fair.
I think Dragonite has the result. Yeah, it's a low A, but it's an A at this point.
Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. It's always going to be here. And next to Chi and Pow, it just wrecks house.
It smashes things really hard. Typhlosion, D tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it has its thing. Azumarill also D. Politoed's a D.
This hurts me so much. I want
know,
you to know
I'm right.
that.
Murkrow's a D.
I'm not agreeing to that.
Yeah, Scissors D.
Scissors bad. T-Tar, I think, is honestly also a D tier at this point.
I think so too.
It has that.
Which is so upsetting to say, but it's just, unfortunately, it is one of the things that it is just, it's been left in the dust at this point, and it's going to be hard for me to justify using it.
It does have a win this format, but again, it's so early in the format where there was that new toy syndrome.
That win was not even Tyranitar's though. Like it really didn't. It didn't contribute a ton in any of the stream matches that I saw. It was all Como. Like that thing was the big key part of it. I think I
could justify putting T-Tar in C.
Yeah, I think if we put T-Tar in C though, I think I want Azumarill in C. I think that thing is good enough in C.
I mean, the thing is, T-Tar at least has the result from this format, and Azumarill doesn't. I think that's like the breaker for me.
Fine.
Yeah.
I think that is a fair point. It's like T-Tar historically has always done something. Azu's a Pokemon that exists.
And I like Azu, don't get me wrong.
I do too. I am a huge Azumarill fan. It's just I can't ever justify playing it when
it's got a great Urshifu matchup though.
Which that in and of itself is really good. The problem is like the other 5 mons on the team.
Yeah. Ludicolo.
I mean, it's good into Chi and Pow. It's good into the Chi and Pow Urshifu lead. It's good into it's not bad into like Tornadus. It's good into its counter Rainmon.
Jay, can you build me an Azumarill team? I really want to play this.
It's had day twos. It's done well.
Has
recently.
Did it have? I don't think it has.
I'm pretty sure it's had some day twos this season.
I'm looking up. I'm pulling up Lab Mouse.
Yeah, no, I'm doing that as well. I can get that real quickly. Teams select.
I feel like Gavin Michaels probably played it at one point, like, and then took it to something. Like there, it's a good Rainmon. It's not. I don't think it's like trash.
So Azumarill's best Reg E finish. Kevin Swastik, 41st place at Peoria. So
That's day two, baby.
It's such an early day two. That's like bottom of the barrel day two.
All right, say what you want about it. That's fine. I think
I
it's
know.
alright.
Yeah, like I'm looking at it. It has like 41st with Kevin, Gary
Like,
Kwan, and
It's got good matchups into a lot of the S tiers that we're gonna say later on. I think it's better than we're giving credit for.
maybe it's a hidden gem.
Like
I love Azu.
it's good into Arcanine Hisui. It's good into Chien-Pao. Like Chien-Pao can't really touch it for that much damage. Urshifu, it doesn't hit it super effectively. That's just me.
I like it. I actually really like it.
One thing we can't agree on is that Ludicolo and Shifter are both B tier.
They're
Facts.
so bad.
One thing that I'm very happy to say is that the Burb it's either high C, low B.
I put it B.
Yeah, I'd say B. It's had multiple day twos at very recent events. You had that. So you had the Tang duo and Gavin Michaels all day two. In I want to say it was Toronto with it. It had like a cut, a 16th place, and a 32nd, and then Bloody took that exact same team to LAIC, and she finished top 32 at LAIC with the Pelipper Rain team that the Tangs used. So like yeah, it's actually had some good results. So Pelipper getting Weather Ball has been such a boon for the Pokemon because now you have a consistent water type attack that you can click into Pokemon like Heatran that you didn't have previously. You would have to rely on Hydro Pump, which is never a fun time. No one ever feels great clicking that button, but everyone feels great clicking into a Weather Ball. So yeah, I'd say like B tier. I'm with Jay on that one.
Yeah.
So looking here, it had
Best rate setter.
8th place in Toronto.
Yep.
32nd at LAIC. 9th place at Brisbane.
Yep. You also have a 16. I think it was top 16 and top 32 in Toronto as well.
Yeah, it's got a lot of just good tools too. It's has wide guard, tailwinds, good Pokemon.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Gardevoir's D.
Yeah.
Where did I put the stupid bird? Yeah,
It's B. You put it in the right spot. Yeah, Gardevoir's D.
Braylon D.
Yeah, Braylon's probably
Sly
D.
King
I want to put
D.
this thing in C, but I understand this
It's
thing
trash.
sucks.
I agree. Slash
Sableye is like-
Sableye.
No,
You can put it
Sableye's
C
D.
if you want it, but I think it's D.
It's D tier.
trash.
All right. These dorks are idiots.
I love my bug, but yeah, you're right.
This thing's bad.
I think Torkoal might honestly we could put Torkoal in.
I'm putting Torkoal in C right now.
We could put it in
also-
C. I don't think Sun is as strong, and if you are running Sun, it's going to be Tornadus.
It's Tornadus Sun, yeah.
I think Milotic.
Milotic's like a
Milotic's
C?
Yeah, I'd say Milotic's C.
C. Yeah.
Dusclops, I think we said C, right?
No,
C-
Dusclops
C.
I called a B. I think it's a B, Mon. As
I'm
someone
I'm pulling up results.
It has a lot of results
has
with
great
like
results.
that with the Ursaluna Blood Moon teams.
Yep.
Specifically.
Actually, in Brisbane, a Dusclops balance team came in second, I believe.
That is
Okay,
accurate.
That's enough to convince me for B, because if it was just the Ursaluna Blood Moon weakness policy stuff, then like that's enough, like that's very niche, and you could probably argue C for that. But I love
Peoria.
Clops. I
It
think
had
it's
a
a good
top
mon.
cut.
Yeah,
Peoria,
had some
it
top
had,
cuts in Peoria.
top 8. Lil was 19th. Toronto
Yeah, it had a
was
few.
Yeah.
7th.
B is very fair. I
Yeah,
think,
okay.
for
Okay,
Clops.
you sold me.
It's got good tools too. It's a good mon.
Salamence is like a
Salamence is a B.
B,
No, I think
yeah.
I think it's a B.
Okay.
Yeah, it showed results.
It had
That-
and multiple sets. You had the scarf set that the Tangs used, and then you have this Rocky Helmet Terra. It's either Terra Steel or Terra Poison set with Roost that Alex Gomez has been using, and people have been taking that from his team. It's a weird situation where it's like if you want like your offensive, dragon type, there's Roaring Moon, and if you want your tailwind, there's Tornadus. But it does like the combination of those two things. And Dragon Flying is just generally is a great defensive type right now. So I think that alone and it has Intimidate. So I think that in general, I think that makes it like a B tier.
I agree. I like it.
I think Salamence is like one of the best rain abusers.
It really is. It and Urshifu. It's a cool mon, and I think if Pelipper's in B, I think it has to be along with it.
Yep, I agree. Sinnoh starters are all D's.
Yeah. Sad to
Sorry,
say. Shell Smash not enough. It's great in RTT though. Torterra's been fantastic.
I think Empoleon might from our just like the Teal Mask only tier list we did. I will say that Empoleon is probably one of our bigger misses.
Yeah.
It's not as good as we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
We thought it was going to be impactful, but like it and Milo are both not as good as we thought they were going to be. So,
yeah.
Oh well, we missed.
I think Gastrodon, it feels wrong to say it's a D tier, but what have you done for me recently? And Gastrodon's done nothing.
We can put it C just because it's
out of respect.
Out of respect for Gastrodon, because it has enough as like. You can use it as an Urshifu counter, half decent.
This graph is not pretty.
It's pretty trash right now. It's pretty tragic. You have to work really hard to make this thing work.
Peoria, Sacramento, it finished 6th. And then its next highest placing is 51 in Toronto.
For like modern meta, its best finish, Pablo Torres took it on a Gambit Balance team at LEIC, finished 61st, so did not day 2 with it. That's just... It's one of those Pokemon where it looks so great in theory, and then just doesn't have it.
I don't know if I can reasonably put this in C tier.
I don't think you can. And that's the thing, it's like, on paper, it's supposed to be so good. And
this might be the hottest take of this entire podcast.
I'm okay with either.
If all three of us are agreeing, how hot is it? Actually,
it makes me feel bad.
Speaking of things that are going to make you feel bad, I'm not going to say it.
Like, I don't know, but like you put it next to the other things in C, and I'm like, I don't know, Gastrodon is maybe.
Yeah, Ambipom is on par with like everything here in C tier.
Put that thing in freaking D. Put it out in the barn where and put it
I'm
down.
Putting it at the top of D.
You don't want to use it. It's bad.
Okay, I'm just going to do this because
leave.
No, again, don't. So only one person has taken Ambipom to a Regulation E major this season. I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to say the tournament placement. It was Lil. And it was 414th.
They're goated, obviously.
Illumise, the Pokemon you two said was worse, has 14th place at Peoria, 67th place. How many, like...
Well, that's just early meta. It's very early on.
That's just like your opinion.
And honestly, I think that it's just because there wasn't the right Ambipom team that was taken to the regional. We're going to blame it on my inability to make any regional this season as why Ambipom has not done well.
I think the big takeaway here is people aren't cooking enough to play with Ambipom.
Get
in the kitchen, guys, okay?
Okay, so No, I can't even say it. Bronzong's like... Yeah, Bronzong's another D, I think.
I wanted to talk about Bronzong a little bit earlier when you were talking about Sinistra, because it reminds me a lot of like Bronzong, and
that's a really good
you can run like heat-proof stuff with it. And like the thing with Bronzong that it has that Sinistra doesn't is that you can run Gyro Ball and use it to one-shot Flutter Mane with it.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously have some overlapping, type problems, and Sinistra has the edge with not being able to be faked out. But I think that Bronzong is honestly, not terrible.
I think like in terms of dedicated Trick Room setters,
there's better.
it's like the 5th one at the absolute best.
I just like Gyro
Could
Ball.
I name 4 that are better?
Oh, 4 Trick
Sinistra,
Room setters off the top of my head.
Cresselia.
Sinistra, Cresselia, Dusclops, Fergraph.
Yeah.
Like off the dome.
Can we put it in C?
Yeah, why not?
You know
I
what?
don't want to
agree.
argue any higher than that, but I think that it's having Gyro Ball is enough to maybe justify.
Screamtail's better than it. And that's so that's 5. No, Screamtail's better.
I'm looking at
I agree.
Screamtail up here in B, and it just seems so out of place.
Yeah, we can move it to C. I think Screamtail's a C. No, I agree.
Just looking at everything else, I'm like, I would
Yeah, it
reasonably
just
play
doesn't
any of these
contribute a lot.
Pokemon, and then there's a Screamtail.
Yeah. No hate towards Screamtail. I also think that Screamtail's a better Pokemon
Actually,
than Bronzong.
I
Full hate
truly
towards
mean this.
Screamtail.
Yeah, full like derogatory C tier.
Your hair is ugly. It's dumb. Okay, get a haircut. The mullet is no longer in style.
No, hold on.
Screamtail.
No, that's coming back.
No, it was back,
I'm
and it's not back anymore.
I
That's
don't know
my
what you
opinion
I
on
don't
it.
know what you Gen Z kids are doing. When to go
Listen,
to
all my
Cloud
boys, they had mullets, and then they cut them off, and they said, "We ain't about that life anymore.
I've had
It's a
this-
different lifestyle, okay? It's the Screamtail lifestyle."
I've had the same hair for like almost 4 years at this point. What do I know? Garchomp.
D.
Real bad.
Imagine dropping out
Yeah.
of OU.
Yeah. Honestly, the next few mons, like Abomasno's a D tier, just
D.
use /D. Last score's D. We're playing
Imagine getting
doubles.
banned from OU.
Oh, dude, it's so freaking good.
It is nasty, dude. Oh my gosh. OU Gliscor, disgusting.
Yeah, Mamoswine's C, D. Rotom's probably
Dude,
D.
I couldn't tell you the last time I played
Yeah,
against a
D.
Rotom.
I can actually tell you the last time I saw it was yesterday. Pangy was using it on stream, but like,
Yeah, but like
I'm-
Pangy disrespected the monkeys, so like
Pangy was correct about the monkeys. And I
Bro,
still
I'm
think it was
sure-
honestly like I still think that like Jay and I and the rest of the group might get charged for war crimes solely for not stopping you from making the monkeys.
I'm sure he wasn't thrilled about the monkey Rillaboom going and grassy gliding his Rotom on stream, probably.
Probably not.
That's a big W for Carter right there. So
you know, I'll take it.
take that,
Anything
Peggy.
monkey supremacy over Pangy, I will take.
No, Pank, friend of the pod, or at least my friend of the pod.
I mean nothing but love for the record.
I know it's.
If you hear this, Pangy, thank you, and I'm sorry again.
Moving on to our next mon. Finally have a mon that's good. And
We
worth
can
talk-
actually talk about Pokemon
We
for
have
a second.
back-to-back Pokemon that are actually good.
Actually, good mom.
Heatran, solid A.
Yeah.
It's such a weird Pokemon for me. I was just saying this yesterday. It's never a Pokemon that I seek out to use, but every single time I've used it, I'm like, wow, this is good. Why don't I use this more? And I just don't use Heatran again. So that's like a me thing, 1000%.
The 4 times ground weakness is a little scary sometimes,
It
I
is.
think, and it's really hard to sometimes fit that on a team. But this thing is so good, and I love
I-
that like it's flexible too, and you can run like Assault Vest. You can run like this special set, but you tack on Gyro Ball just to knock out Flutterbanes.
Heavy Slam.
Or Heavy Slam, whatever
Yeah.
the other move is. Yeah,
I
cool.
when Reg E first came on Showdown, I went and stole PokeAim's singles, like his OU set of like sub Magma Storm, and was playing it in doubles, and it was so sick.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's
Magma
become popular
Magma
now.
Storm's legit.
yeah.
I want everyone to know I was doing that 3 months ago.
I think it was
Or-
played.
Heck,
Man,
however
Carter's
long
out
it's
here
been.
just taking W after W at the moment.
Yeah,
Every problem's at the top of D tier. I couldn't be happier.
You going to go sign for your hipster application later?
No.
Cressler is a B tier. Crest is a good
Crest is good.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
good.
I think B is very fair. It
I think
doesn't contribute a ton outside of Trick Room and the Lunar Blessing stuff, but yeah, and like it's very much taunt bait.
I
Samurott
think
sucks.
Samurott sucks. Yep, sad to say, not great in VGC.
I wanted it to be good. It's such a cool
not
Pokemon.
good.
Yeah, Conk also. Conkeldurr the Pokemon, not great. Conkeldonk the player, awesome. Just won a PC yesterday up in Maine. Shout out to him.
I saw that. I
yeah.
saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, imagine having to lose. Yeah, no, it's New England VGC is absolutely cracked. So many good players. I don't just having talent all around you. Honestly, sucks sometimes. There's no such thing as a free event.
I'm just throwing a bunch of these in D tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, just clean that up.
Yep.
Lefty.
Yep.
If there's anything you want to talk about, just stop me.
Hatterene will probably be very
no,
good
honestly,
after,
I think both
DLC.
horses are. I think both horses are D tier.
Yeah, they're really not good. Cleavor sucks. Blood Moon good. Regular Ursaluna bad.
No, dude.
No. All right, let's talk about.
Oh my gosh, Overquill is trash. But that.
No. We can keep going. Overquill's trash.
Yeah, let's just knock out the rest of these real quick.
I would put Serena up there.
Oh, there's Bruxish. There's Serena.
Serena. I hate it. Mimikyu's there.
Meowscarada, both Enamorus are trash.
Dude, it is so crazy how overhyped this mon was to turn out to be
so garbage.
I think you can argue Therian for C. I'm not going to, but
disagree.
I think you can.
Me and you both used it in the LRL draft leagues. And...
No, we used Incarnate, and Incarnate was ass.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I used that. That was my first draft pick. That thing was so trash.
No, that was my second. It wasn't my second round pick, but it was my S pick.
Can you put Orthworm and Garganacl next to each other in DT?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank
I got you.
They both stink, but I love them.
Man, you want to talk about a mon that just is so disappointing?
Oh my god, I like pour one out for Palafin, and it literally is because Urshifu exists, and why are you going to use Palafin?
That's the reason.
When Urshifu exists.
The fall off of Palafin was swift and painless.
And unforgiving.
So. You can put Toadscruel in D. Toadscruel.
Did I miss it? Oh, I did miss it.
Yeah, I think Great Tusk.
This thing
put
sucks.
Down there.
Yeah,
Tusk is trash.
I want this to be good, but
is
it's not.
Trash. Shocks is trash.
I was so high on Slitherwing.
Yeah, I love
for Regulation
Slitherwing.
B. That was a hardcore miss on my end.
Oh,
I just eat my L. Honestly, like I love Mimikyu. Like
yeah, it's kind of.
You got my little buddy here. I love Mimi so much. It's a D tier
mon. Okay. I think everything else we can reasonably talk about.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to eliminate real quick? If we're just like mass purging the D tier.
No, I think we covered everything.
I think like
here is worth.
Gudra.
I think there's like
Gudra's
a couple.
Good to talk about still.
Actually, no. I think Talonflame's D tier. Talonflame.
I can see that.
Let me pull up the calc. Courtesy, because
I think Talonflame is like.
I could also see.
I'm going to tell you this calc right now, and you're going to
I could see it and Gudra both in the D tier. I don't know how good Gudra is anymore.
I agree. I think Gudra's. I want it to be, but I don't think it is.
I just don't think it has the matchups into anything in the format. Honestly.
Yep.
Coma-O just does it better. I know this is off the podcast, but just give me a second. Okay, yeah. So 252 Adamant, Terraflying Talonflame, Helping Hand Acrobatics into no bulk. Oh no, this is Terra Water. Never mind. Long story short, it was like 252 plus Terraflying Talonflame, Helping Hand Acrobatics into 4 HP Terra Water Rapid Strike. Only had like under a 20% chance of getting an OHKO.
That's because you're playing Acro. Play Brave Bird like a man.
But like Brave Birds only want to be like 30 or 40%.
Be a man. Play Brave Bird.
And again, that's like 252 Adamant, Terra, helping hand. Like it's
Yeah, no,
it's
I-
another like Mon. I think it's honestly the same as
also
Gastrodon.
if they tear
did you
up.
know that it has less attack than Murkrow?
I actually didn't, and now I'm sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
no, it's
I
a
was
D-tier
talking
Pokemon.
about it, and I was like, yeah, Murkrow kind of hits like a wet noodle, and then someone in UDL, I think it was Mateo, came in and was like, hate to break it to you, buddy, and then sent the calc of Murkrow and Talonflame calcs,
I
and
don't
was
believe
like,
this. I had to look this up.
I think Murkrow was 86 and Talonflame is 84 or something. It's like really abysmal.
Murkrow 85, Talonflame 81. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, it's abysmal. It's I think it's fine in D.
Murkrow and I are
Honestly,
beefing right now.
I think Gothitelle can kind of go in D. I don't think it's all that good right now.
There was a
Um,
moment. There was a moment where these Gothitelle Gambit balance teams were popping up right around Toronto, and everyone thought that was when we would play. And then it wasn't the play, but like it was popping up enough. Shadow Tag Fake Out is such a unique niche where I can see the argument for it being a C tier Pokemon.
Yeah, I argued a lot of random bullcrap to be up in C tier, so I take it back. Put it in C. The thing
Yeah,
is
I think
it-
better
I
than
think
a lot
it's
of the
solid.
stuff that
I think
argued up there.
it has enough of an interesting role that's actually usable compared to the others.
Yeah,
Amoonguss, I think, is A tier.
A tier.
It's again, these grass types are all fighting for each other for spots. But Amoonguss's death was grossly over exaggerated. The Pokemon still does the exact same thing it's done for the last 12 years, and it's just good at it.
Sleepy night night.
Nope. Redirect, Sleepy Night. Oh, and it heals now. Also, Pollen Puff is great because Pollen Puff does damage into the other grass types.
I think Volk is like a solid C.
I can see B,
Yeah.
but
I'm
yeah,
okay
I think
with
it's C.
C.
The
I
people who have
wanna-
been getting
Has it done anything?
it
Its
has a top
typing
6.
is a little whatever.
It has a top 16, but I believe it was Paul Ruiz who ran it. So I think it's the same thing of meh Pokemon ran by all world player.
Sacramento, it finished 33rd. Toronto, it finished. Oh, that's Toronto, 81.
Okay, so actually,
yeah.
LAIC
see.
finished 27.
Godonks finished 4th place by Tom Winter on a Gambit. It was a Gambit balance team.
I thought I remember you all talking about it last week.
Yeah, because it also had Sinisha on it. So yeah, I knew it did something.
Was it Terra Water Rocky Helmet? Am I imagining things?
More than
No,
likely,
this it was Terragrass Flame Body. The Sinistra was the Rocky Helmet Mon. No, it was Paul Ruiz at NAIC was also Terragrass Lefties. But yeah, so like again, we have that top. Actually, with that very recent top 4, I mean, I'm okay with putting it in a B tier. There's better fire types: Heatran, Ogerpon, Shiyu, Arcanine, Hisuian Arcanine. But it does a thing, and it does that thing kind of well. I'm like C or B, like you guys just call.
I'm fine leaving
Yeah.
it in C.
Okay. Torn is like the
S.
easiest S.
Yeah, I think it's class.
What is there to say about Tornado that we haven't said this episode or literally in the last 3 months?
Nothing. There's nothing to say about it.
Continues to be absurdly good, and it's going to continue to be absurdly good.
I think the only thing, like, when we get Whimsicott next format, Whims is faster than Torn and can taunt it.
So we'll see
You can
mental
click
herb
you
and
can click Bleak Wind into it, into the Whimsicott, and just get rid of it that way. But like it might have like a teeny bit of like competition. But in the grand scheme of things, Torn, like, if you're running a team with Tailwind, you should have like a legitimate reason to not have Tornadus on there. If you're trying to use one of these other Tailwind setters. And even then, you're probably wrong.
Thunditherian.
C probably.
See, that like you had the result with Thundy, with
Same with Thundy Therian, I think too.
no, I actually this is
even-
actually Thundy Incarnate. I actually am going to be.
I mean Thundy yeah.
I'm actually going to say it's a D tier. I
I'm
love
okay-
this Pokemon.
Has it done anything?
It's done nothing. Tornadus is just
Yeah.
better.
I'm okay with D tier. I think C tier is okay too, but yeah, that thing's kind of trash.
Thundy Incarnate actually has a result, and if you want to put the Thundy Therian actually has a result. And if you want to put
Therian's top placement this season is 54.
that's
That's real bad.
That's Incarnate. Therian.
That's Incarnate. Therian
Yeah.
has top 4?
Yeah, it's a top
It has
four.
a
with
single
that
top four.
rain team. Yeah, I think Therian in C, Incarnate in D is very
Yep.
fair.
Yeah, no, it was
Lando-
it was Boy.
Easy S
And
Lando T.
Lando T is really good.
Yeah, no, it's again Pokemon that's been good for a decade, still good.
Again, listen to the last 3 years of this podcast, where we talked
Yeah,
about
like what
Lando
episode
T
are,
every week.
we're on 196.
Go listen to the last 195 episodes.
Not that many. We didn't have Landorus then. Like you have at least a solid like 130, 140 that you can go back on. This is a Pokemon I'm so excited to talk about. Thunderous Incarnate.
I think this
is
thing's really good.
the darling of the late meta. This is calling it right now. Thunderous Incarnate wins one of the next two events.
Do you mean Lando?
Lando Incarnate is
Do
going to win.
you want to take? Let's take 2 on that soundbite real quick for Carl.
You know, Carl, if you wanted like something to like clip, this is it. Lando Incarnate.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give him
Oh yeah,
a clean
let me get
take.
this. Okay, yeah. Lando Incarnate is going to win one of the next two events. This is something that's been popping up recently on Tailwind teams as a ground type special attacker with the Sand Seer Storm. That for some reason the sand attack with sand in its name. It's 100% accuracy in the rain. That doesn't make sense, but
It's so freaking dumb. I hate it.
So
yeah, and you get
can
the sheer
have
force boost for the burn chance.
Yep, with you get sheer force boost with the life orb, and you're already running rain dance on your Tornadus, which is next to the Landorus, because you also have the Urshifu Rapid Strike on the team. No, this is a Pokemon. It's super fast. It hits really, really hard. Usually carries Sludge Bomb and a Terra Poison in order to have that defensive Terra, along with the fact that get that stab on the poison typing, which is really great into all the grass types in the metagame and into Flutter Mane. It's so good. It's something that if you haven't used it yet, try to find a team to use it on. It's super fun. When you have I've used it like a little bit. I know Carl has used it and did very well with it. But yeah, just do it. Use it.
Komodo, I think, is like the definition of niche, but fine. When it's very
think
unique
it's
at what it
A-tier.
does. Where?
A tier.
It is not A tier.
This thing is so freaking good, dude.
I think if it gets set up, it's. I think at this point, the meta has moved past it.
I don't know, man.
It won
I don't
Sacramento.
know.
Okay.
It won.
It won Sacramento as an early event.
It has
It
the
has
Iron Defense body
it
press
top 8
set.
in Brisbane.
It has, you can run like Clangorous Soul stuff. I'm a believer, man. I also have this thing on UDL though, so I could be biased.
It has
Yeah.
4 day 2 appearances. It has 3 of those in top 32 with a win and a second top 8.
I'm going through. It was the thing that I'm seeing though, because I know we brought up Brisbane. I did say this in the last event. The Australian meta is as upside down as the continent is. I'll be on the other side of the world. Australia is just generally a bad metagame to judge what is good, because according to Australia, Psyspam's a top 3, like one of the top teams, because Psyspam had 2 top 4s. It's a good team. Even like the Dusclops Balance, it was a good team. But you're not going to see those teams perform as well in the Western Hemisphere.
No less than B.
I think it's a
I'm
B
fine with B.
Pokemon.
I'm fine with
I
B.
think it's a B Pokemon. I think if we did this a month ago, or a little more than a month ago, you could have argued me with A. I think with how things have moved on December 3rd, it's a B tier.
Wow, way to date this episode.
They can just read the dates. People.
S tier.
Yeah, Rillaboom's really good.
Is it
like,
S?
Yes. Grassy
dude,
Glide nerf was nothing for it, man.
Yeah,
I know. So the thing is, I'm not
Yes.
saying it's bad. I think it's really, really good. I think with the increasing usage of Amoonguss along with Ogerpon, it's more so there's a lot of... So part of me's thinking there's a lot of competition for that grass slot, and the other part says that that it was on that team that won back-to-back events and is still really good.
Angelo, it won 3 events in a
Yeah,
row.
it's
Okay,
also
you're
just
good.
really
it
good.
has 4 titles to its name
It's
this season.
really good into all of the other grass types. Like you have
it's-
Fake Out, you have Grassy Glide, Woodhammer, Knockoff,
No,
High
you know-
Horsepower.
Every
Yeah.
regional, the lowest it has finished at a regional this season is 5th. This is an S tier Pokemon. What is wrong with you?
So much, loads, and we're going to get to it after the episode. Not going to do that to our good fans. No, that is fair. I was not thinking straight.
We know. So Grimmsnarl.
Grimm's a C.
Yeah. It's like
Screens
the best
are
green setter.
not that good,
But
man.
I mean,
Well,
they're
when-
not that
when-
good.
when there's this set of mons that just like doesn't care about your screens or your intimidates or your Pokemon protecting or basically anything that you do, it's really hard to justify playing it.
The next one. What do we have next?
Indeed's.
Indeed.
I mean, by that I mean exactly female because male is a D tier Pokemon.
I think female's a B.
Mm,
That's another.
low
That's
B,
that,
high C. Like
Yeah.
B. I would say B because Size Spam has had some okay results.
yeah. And honestly, I think you can probably just get ahead of it and just put Armor Rouge right next to it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You aren't going to run Armor Rouge without Indeedee. Also, Indeedee's another Trick Room setter that's better than Bronzong.
And you got Follow Me, which is nice.
Would you
Fake
say
Out prevention.
Armor Rouge is better than Bronzong as a Trick Room setter?
Probably Armor.
I mean, I'm talking just dedicated Trick Room setters, not Pokemon that know Trick Room, because the list is a lot longer if we go there. But yeah, no, you can click Trick Room with the Armor Rouge, which is why this combination is so good. Dragapult, I think, is a C right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I agree, which makes me sad because I think this thing still slaps.
Meta's
the
just
problem
not
is-
great. Meta's just not great for it.
Yeah.
The big problem is like it's threatened by a lot of the like S tier Pokemon in a way that it wasn't threatened in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Back then, this was the fastest thing you had to worry about, and now you have a primary Tailwind setter. You have a priority move that hits you super effectively here with Chien-Pao. You have Intimidate, which doesn't matter because you're Clear Body.
Yeah. Well, you have at least one go second S tier that with the Tailwinds
That
when you get it.
outspeeds you. Yeah,
Yep.
like,
And then we're about to talk about a second, and another Pokemon that I think also hurts it
is like King Gambit too, like
King Gambit
and Bramblegast and
Roaring Moon.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that really make Dragapult sad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like having hyper offense with Tailwind and a lot of priority stuff it takes away Dragapult's great niche of being extremely fast. That it was, and being able to Oko Flutter Mane before it did anything to it.
So we're finally at the monsters of the format. Urshifu, I think.
Yeah, we got some real heavy hitters here.
I think
Single Strike is probably an A tier.
Yeah.
Agree.
I think it's good, but like when you're comparing the two, and it's really hard not to compare the two Pokemon who literally share a name.
Yep.
It's really hard to compare like Single Strike to Rapid Strike.
I'll even go one step further. I think Rapid Strike is the best Pokemon in the format.
Yeah, I think I probably agree. I think it's
The
just
definition.
absurd.
it's the definition of defining. Everything in the format is warped around its partnership with Tornadus, where it gets the speed control and it also gets the weather to boost its damage output. I'll put this in perspective. On a sturdy Pokemon like Ogerpon, the Rock Ogerpon, people run bulk on a sturdy Pokemon that's neutral into Surging Strikes, because I think it's like you have to have it's like 60 HP, 44 defense, or like vice versa, like 44 HP, 60 defense. You need to have that to live like the Terra Water Jolly 252 Surging Strikes. And when you have a Pokemon that you're like, okay, on this Mon with a built-in Focus Sash, I still have to put bulk investment because of the existence of this Pokemon. Like it's just it does so much. It does so much damage. There's not really many defensive plays around it. Even a Pokemon like Ogerpon, which on paper looks like it was like Ogerpon Wellspring was on paper built to directly counter and beat Rapid Strike Urshifu. Well, those close combats are still 2-hit KOs, and the U-turns on the Scarf sets are doing a whopping, like, a large amount of damage. Usually around, like, 40-50% from the U-turn. Unless you Terra. And if you Terra, you lose the whole point of being immune to the Surging Strikes.
I'm trying to come up with any reason not to give, like... I'm trying to come up with a reason to say that Iron Hands is better than Urshifu.
I think Iron Hands is the only Pokemon that you can argue.
I like that's
Bulk,
like the art. That's yeah.
Bulk and like taking advantage of it with Drain Punch stuff, but like the fact of the matter is that you are immune to Intimidate just about because you're just clicking Surging Strikes. You can run Choice Scarf or Mystic Water sets. It pairs incredibly well next to Tornadus,
Choice Band.
next to Chien Pao.
Yeah.
The Arcanine and Landorus really help it. The Rillaboom helps it. Like like Angelo said, the format is warped around it. Like Urshifu Rapid Strike is kind of the black hole that pulls everything to the center. You have to worry about your defensive calcs about it. You always have to think about this thing. It's always there. And it can people run Wheezing just to stop it from punching through your Protect.
Hell,
I saw somebody
was
run
next to Wheezing.
I saw somebody run Doodle Grafii to copy Unseen Fist onto Slowking to click Play Rough through the Protect.
Lord, that was the sickest play I've ever seen in my life.
But yeah, this thing is definitely the center of the format, the center of the world, and absolutely no reason for it not to be S tier. I don't think that anything else compares, especially because it has decent enough bulk to survive really any hit, especially when you put in defensive terras and such.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's just it was a mistake. They should have nerfed. They had the opportunity to nerf Unseen Fist. What it should have acted the same way as like using a D-Max move or a Z move to Protect.
Yeah.
But nope, they're like,
I fully agree.
We're going to nerf Single Strike by making Wicked Blow go from 80 base power to 75 base power to match Surging Strikes. And that's all we're going to do with Pokemon. Maybe in Gen 10. Probably not, though.
Speaking of nerfs, Regieleki, this thing's trash.
It's really hard for me to not justify putting this in D.
I don't think
it's a D.
Is so bad, man.
It's
so
really bad, Angelo. When was the last time you used Eleki?
I haven't. It did come in second place at LAIC. I think it's good.
Fine, put it in C just because of that, but it is so garbage, man.
Right,
I ran
the pilot.
I ran Choice
If it was Jamie Boyd, I'm putting it in.
It was not Jamie Boyd.
I ran Choice Scarf Regieleki because that's the only option you have to be Tailwind teams. It's completely useless otherwise.
No. What you do is you run it with your Tailwind.
Yeah, but like what are you doing? You're clicking Electro Web, you're clicking Thunderbolt, and just like I don't know.
The Thunderbolt with it. So it was the set. It was Protect, Electro Web, Thunderbolt, and it was Terra Ice, Terra Blast. And really, it's a mon where you can click the Terra Ice to clean up. It's good where it's a mon that even like especially you can either go with or without Tailwind, depending on if your opponent also has a matching Tailwind. You're able to outspeed these booster Pokemon. You're able to outspeed like your Scarf Urshifu, threaten it with a Thunderbolt. Scarf Lando, threaten it with Terra Ice, Terra Blast. So that was like the idea with the team. It was also played next to Shiyu to help it put out even more damage. I'm not saying it's an amazing Pokemon. I don't think it's great. With that being said, I slandered it, and then it came in second place at LAIC like a day later. So
Can you make fun of Ambipom more?
Absolutely not.
I
do not think that would do it enough.
I think that if your best Terra type is the Ice type, I think that you belong in the D tier. So that's just me though.
Yeah.
It has 2 day 2 finishes. Out of what, 5 regional? Out of 5 majors?
7.
We can put it in C, but I don't think it's very good.
I think it's C.
I think it is so low in C that I don't like it. Reggie Drago though.
Reggie Drago, no, this is legitimate. This is.
I love this for Reggie Drago.
B tier, I think.
Yeah, I'd say it's B. Honestly, like, gun to my head, you want to force me to put it? Yeah, you wouldn't say no. It's like, it's one of the weird Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 8 that didn't take advantage of Terra well whatsoever. Oh my god, I did a flip. I've been so used to saying Dynamax instead of Terra that I said Terra instead of Dynamax. Did not take advantage of Dynamax well whatsoever. So now that like it is a great mon for Terra, and with Pokemon not being able to double their HPs and become too bulky where the Dragon Energy damage doesn't matter, it's just great.
I like it at B. I think it's good.
I agree.
Okay, well, yeah, we can go B.
I think it's it's solid.
I think we're over an hour and a half in already. We should. I'm not saying hurry up and talk about these, but
oh no, we're going to go speed round.
I think Sneasler is like D tier, right?
I think Basculation's D tier as well.
Bramblin is probably C tier. I mean, Brambleghast is probably C tier. I can see Basculegion as C as well.
I
actually like that. I like that.
I think
Brambleghast is. I think if you're putting Basculation C, Bramble should be B. I think
that's fair too.
Brambleghast.
It's had some good results.
I like that. I actually like it on the same tier as like Reggie Drago.
Yeah, it's like the tier 2 team. It's a good mod.
I think both our Cylinders are probably A tiers. I think both of them are really good.
Has regular done anything?
Regular's actually
been on the
better.
rise quite a bit recently.
Yeah, it's been putting up better results than Blood Moon. Recently Blood Moon has fallen off. Both struggle into Urshifu.
I can see them as B even.
Yeah, I would honestly put both as B right now. They could have again a month ago. I think they both would have been set A's. But with the way the meta has gone, when you are this week into Urshifu, it just makes it.
It's really hard
to put a lot more.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
I like Glim at like A.
I honestly think
Glim's
it's probably C.
Yeah, it's B or C. It's not an A.
I just think you're only using it on those Dozo teams, kind of.
Yeah, actually, no.
That's fair.
I'm with Jay. I think it's a C-mon. When you say that.
Oh, it's so much better than Eliki.
We could put it at B. I'm okay with that too. I just think that's like it's pretty much just the Dozo teams, and even then it's like only a niche contributor on that. Like it's there to toxic stall more than anything. I do think that Dozo is very good though.
The next 3 Pokemon, I think Dozo, Tatsu, you put them together. I think at this point they're B tier mons. It's one of those teams like Spam where you have to keep it in the back of your mind. It's always going to be a team in the meta, but it's never going to be an actually defining team in the meta. And then same, like, I think that Annihilate, it's just Defiance great. You can do a few fun little things with it. I think it's better than Okidogi that we put in C.
I think it's a C tier mon.
It's probably like high C, but
Yeah.
like you know,
I
can see high C
love Annihilate, and I
It's going to
I
get a
don't know
lot.
if I can justify playing it right now.
it's another bad matchup Pokemon. It just doesn't have a lot of good matchups into the format.
Fergraph is easiest
C
A.
tier.
No, this is an easy
Okay.
A. Being in such a priority-driven format, being able to turn off priority is huge.
I agree. Which is why
it
I'm sad
is-
this arena sucks.
Yeah, it's also great in terms of acting as its own speed control, turning off opposing speed control. No, this is the premier Trick Room setter in the format, and it's also a mon that you can splash onto these hyper offensive teams where you can play a Fergraph on a team with Tornadus and do like tail stuff. I think it's really great. Gambit's also I'd say the Gambit and Bundle are also A mons. Not Gambit's
agree.
not.
Oh, Gambit is A tier, not B.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. Nice
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah.
And then Flutter and Hands are, I think, easy S tiers.
Yeah,
and
I
Bax
think
is like
Bax is probably like a
Bax
C
is
tier.
B.
No, I
B
think
or C.
Spax is B.
Okay.
You put
Probably
the
put it
Bax
next to Ninetales.
Yep. And then, I mean, you guys have listened to this podcast for a year, and you know that Iron Hands and Flutter have just been two of the most defining Pokemon in Generation 9 ever since their release. No, these are just amazing Pokemon in their own right. Like, yeah, no, that's it.
I think
That's it,
S tier
that's
is like
the
the only
tiers.
one that I feel safe, like
Ordering?
tearing it inside.
I would honestly actually.
Man,
would-
I say that now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, man,
Let's not even worry about it.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not,
I-
but like,
the
it's
only
a
thing-
fun little like brain teaser of like where I put things.
I think Lando moves up a couple slots probably. But
No,
outside
actually,
of that-
Torn's the one that moved. I think Torn's easy third.
You know,
I
I
think
had it
Torn's-
there, and then I'm like, man,
It's Torn, I think.
I think I like Torn more than Flutter. I don't know if I could like it more than Arc.
That's fair. But yeah, anyways, that's our tier list with about 2 months of data going into it. And I think this is just in general a really good representation of the meta. It was honestly cool that we actually found a tier list generator that had everything for us.
There you go, Carl. There's for the thumbnail.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Can we do like 60%? Nope.
That's good enough.
Okay.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, you can kinda
and
do
as
that
we said,
already.
nothing in these tiers are ordered. And there's probably, again, mons are, if we had more tiers, would maybe fall in between one tier or another.
Yeah.
But generally
If we-
speaking, this is where things are at.
If we wanted to get real specific about things, we could add extra tiers and stuff, but I don't feel like doing that. So
No, thank you.
I've already built one tier list for a draft league. I don't want to build a second one here live.
I think, I think just in general, just as an aside, you can honestly, the top, our S tier, these Pokemon are so defined to the point where you can legitimately just take 6 Pokemon from S tier and you have a really good team, and you could probably just assume that whichever team wins the next main event is going to have Landorus Incarnate, and then like 5 of the 6 Pokemon in this S tier. Like they're just all so good, and they all work super well together.
Yes, the Landorus Theory and Landorus Incarnate team. I'm all for.
You know, double ground, baby.
Double
Actually,
Lando.
that's not even legal. You can't even do that.
Look, you said pick 5. I picked one, and now you're telling me I can't.
Well,
This is on you, not me.
It is on me for not setting boundaries for you.
This is clearly your fault, not mine.
For once.
Jay, I think it's that time of
Is
the
it
episode.
time? All
Yeah,
right.
take us
Thank
home.
you all so much for watching. It was great to be back. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. Follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons. Um, you can join our community Discord. We all hang out over there and chill, and it's fun.
And make fun of
Um,
the Eagles.
and make fun of the Eagles, baby. Make sure you check out the website, www.lrlessons.com. Yeah, then we have our Patreon and our Discord supporters link where you can go and support us, help us keep the lights on around here because there's not a lot of lighting. It's very dark, and so please help.
Jake,
Thank you
you
too.
have lights. That's on you.
I know, man. All right, like it's
Just
just
because you're trying to
nighttime,
conserve
okay?
power.
It's daylight savings time. It's so dark. Thank you so much to Johnny Bravo Sr. and Papa Swish for your support over on Patreon and Smeargle for your support over on Discord. With that, that has been our tier list and our episode. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you all next week. Peace out.